Welcome to the Pianist TV channel. In this following masterclass, Graham Fitch discusses the importance of practicing separately, not just hands separately, but strands separately too. The filming takes place at Steinway Hall, right in the heart of London. Before Graham begins his lesson, here's a glance around Steinway's impressive showroom and Hall of Fame, as well as the all-important workshop. On this introduction, Graham plays the minuet from Ravel's Sonatine, performed on a Model D concert grand, the same instrument on which he gives his lesson.
Hello, I'm Graham Fitch, and I'm bringing you this video demonstration on separate practice from Steinway Hall in the heart of London's West End. And this goes together with my article in issue 77 of Pianist magazine on separate practice. Now, you may be wondering why I have avoided using the word separate hand practice. But of course, we will start off by practicing hands separately, but I want to show you in a little while how we can extend this to strands separately. But let's start off with hands separately. Now, we all know the importance of practicing with one hand and then the other, especially when we're starting to learn a piece. But it's also a very good idea to do this even when we know a piece well, to return to our separate hand practice. One thing I do recommend is particularly the left hand, because the left hand often gets neglected because it's not really what we're actively listening to when we play. We're usually listening to what the right hand is doing. So what I suggest doing is to sit on our right hand, and to play the left hand part, I'm going to use a little snippet from Beethoven's G minor Bagatelle, opus 119. Of course, you don't have to sit on your hand. And I'm going to play this left hand excerpt with care and attention to every detail. Let me just show you what I mean. I think you'll notice there that I was attentive to sound, to phrasing, and even here when I played these double notes, I was listening that my thumb was softer than my underneath notes. What this means is if I know my left hand impeccably by itself, when I put it together with the right hand, I've got the best possible partnership between the two hands. So. Really good left hand to support the right hand that we're actively going to be listening to. I would also advise that if you're memorizing a piece and you want to really be sure of your memory, sit on your right hand and play the left hand from memory. It doesn't matter if it's not the complete picture, it's what this hand ends up having to do. And of course you can do that the other way around as well. Now let me get back to what I was talking about before about strands separately. And I'm going to use an example from the pathetique sonata, slow movement of Beethoven. Let me just play it to you in its full glory, just a little bit. We all know this piece. And so on. Now, you will notice that that's in three voices or in three parts. So if we look at the top part, imagine this is being played by a violin, violin 1. Now, what you'll notice, I hope, if I did that well, you'll notice that I'm really listening to the amount of sound that's left at the end of a note so that I can match it to the beginning of the next sound. So I'm playing, you may think, well, he's playing his right hand by itself. I'm playing the top part of my right hand by itself, and that's really important. Let me do that again. Listen there. Now, using the fingering that I'll end up using, I make the most beautiful line that I can by itself, the top violin by itself. Now the viola part, not terribly interesting. It's just the stuffing that sits between the bass voice, the cello line, if you want to think of it like that. Now if I'm practicing strands separately, I can first of all take each strand by itself, and then I can put the strands together in combinations. A really good way to start with this is to play the violin and the cello part. Violin and cello, of course it's for piano, but these parts by themselves, adding the pedal where necessary. And what I'm aiming for there is a good balance between the two voices. I don't want a sound that's too top heavy. I want my bottom voice and my top voice to blend together. Now I can also play my bass voice together with my viola. Do you hear what I'm doing there? I'm favouring the bass voice. Just before I end this particular section, I'm going to show you a wonderful practice tool which I call miming, where I now put the three voices together, but instead of playing the alto line, the viola line, I'm going to touch the keys and not have them sound. Let me just show you what that sounds like or looks like. I don't know if you can see what's going on there, but I'm touching the surface of the keys of the viola line without sounding them. Now you may ask why. What that does is it shows me, first of all, that I can control these fingers so well that I can have them not sound, but it also enables me to listen attentively to the balance between these two lines while my hand is behaving more or less as it would behave when I add the viola line. In part 2 of this video demonstration on separately, I'm going to show you how you can apply this principle of strands separately to fugues and to other examples from the more advanced repertoire.